This tutorial is on how to draw the human figure. Alright, so it's kind of, I guess for beginners. I'm going to do it a way that's good for beginners, but it's good for whoever wants to learn how to draw the human figure in proportion and using good proportions. So I'm going to do a line, and this line is just going to be used to kind of help me gauge if I'm staying in proportion. I'm doing an 8-inch line. So from the top to the bottom, it's an 8-inch line. So there it is. And then I'm going to go put the ruler back down and mark it at every inch. So I'm going to mark it at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. So I've put a little mark at each inch. And actually, I'm going to number this line with a 0 at the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. I'm going to draw my person here, and I'm just going to use this line to gauge if I'm doing a person in good proportion. So the way I use this is I know that a full-grown human figure is approximately 8 heads tall. So I'm just going to lightly extend these, this 1-inch area towards the top of the line, because this is where I'm going to draw the head. The head is going to be 1 inch. That way, my person should end up, being about 8 inches or, 7.5, somewhere in here. It doesn't have to be exact. The human form ranges from, 7 to 8 inches, so it's okay if it's not all the way down to 8, but I want it in that range. So this is a part you might have to practice a little bit. You want to try to be able to do a like this, not an oval, but an egg shape. So you might have to practice it, but you want it to look more narrow where the chin is and wider where the skull is. So like an egg shape. All right. If you've got that, and you may need to practice, I think it's a good idea to kind of like do a few of them, and so get your hand warmed up and whatever. So if you need to pause the video, go right ahead. And then after that, so your neck would be right here. You're going to leave some space for the neck for right now and draw a line that's going to indicate where your shoulders would land. So you can see it's your shoulders are wider than your head, and you got to leave space for the neck. So what we're going to do here is we're going to kind of be breaking this human form into basic shapes, and this shape is going to represent the torso, the rib cage. So we're going to do a trapezoid. So you can see how it's wider at the shoulders and it narrows in a little bit. What this shape leaves space for, this is, if you were drawing a skeleton, this would be where your rib cage would be fitting in here. So that's what that is. So you got a trap, but just go ahead and do a trapezoid. And then your trapezoid should be coming down. You're kind of like approaching in between the 5 and 6 mark. Make sure you're not doing teeny tiny little forms. So it should be getting on down, between the 6 and the 5. And then what we're going to do in here, remember, we are not drawing a skeleton. We're drawing forms. We're drawing, the human figure. And so we want to leave room for the belly area. So this is some people can have big bellies, little bellies, all different, but you need to sort of map out that area where your belly region is. And so your rib cage, and then also what's coming next is the hip region attaches to that belly area. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make another trapezoid, only this one is going the other way. So that one was going that way. This one's going the other way. And this is my hip bone. That's where the whole hip bone area is. All right. And, it can be wider, it can be narrower, depending on male, female, or, however a person's body is. And then from that, so we should be getting down, might be a little bit above 4. And attached to the hip area is the thigh. So I do a nice big kind of wide oval. You do, a narrower thigh if you want to. I am making a wider thigh like that. If you do, you make your thighs narrower. Just don't make them too narrow. A lot of people do them really, really puny looking. So there's your thigh. And then you got the knee below that. You can check yourself. Where am I now? I'm, headed down to the 2. I'm somewhere between the 2 and the 3. And below the knee is your calf. And the calf, I kind of go out and then in again. But, you can also just sort of start with a long oval. And I do this going out, going in thing, though, because your strongest point in your calf is right around in here. So it kind of goes out and then in again and down to the ankle. But if it's easier, just go ahead and do a long oval shape for now, a long skinny oval. Like that. And then, so then I have only left is the foot, well, the ankle. You can put a little ball there for the ankle socket, and then just do for now, just do a triangle for the foot. So now you kind of have it's almost like having a place marker for everything. Then you can go back and add the details, but start with triangle. So all we have left to do then from here is the arms. So if you stand up right now and you hang your arm down loosely, you're going to notice that your hands are going to fall almost mid-thigh. Most people don't, their arms don't hang perfectly straight like that. Usually there's a little bend to it. So it might look better if you draw it with a little bit of a bend. But we're going to do it in 2 pieces. So again, sort of like with the legs, you got the top part and then you got the forearm. 2 parts. And same with the other arm, of course. Like that. And I just do a half circle for the hand for starters. And yeah, so that's a great place to start. And then you just put the neck in. Just remember, when you put the neck in, don't make it too skinny. It's a lot of people make the neck too skinny, but it's pretty close to the width of the head. And this one ended up looking probably female. I made it kind of wider right here. But if I wanted to change this back into a male, all I'd have to do is take off a little on the sides there and narrow it in, maybe buff it up on the upper body. But it's very you can alter it a lot. This is really just a form to then build on and add details from there. But it helps you to get the human figure in proportion. So that's the lesson for today. Thank you so much for watching. Bye now.